A, B, C. A always, B, B, C counting. Always be counting. You want to be counting your music at all times. There's nothing more important in your music than your rhythm, playing on time and with the band. Even in classical music, the beat can vary. Your music can actually speed up and slow down, but it's by design and by emotion. It's not random or happenstance. I can say how important it is to have good rhythm, being somebody who's afflicted with not the greatest of rhythms. I do tend to speed up, and I can jolt my bars a little bit when they're not totally practiced or I'm not totally comfortable. In the gym, they say go to the hard gainers to figure out what to do. You don't go to Tom Platz to learn how to build massive thighs because he's clearly genetically dispositioned for huge thighs. You go to the guys who had to really work hard to develop it. In this case, I work to develop my timing. In most of our music, we're counting to 4 beats in a bar. The top 4 in your time signature tells you to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In every bar, you get 4 beats. Every bar or measure marked off by the bar line. We take for granted that the note we're counting is a quarter note, but that's only because it's generally in the denominator of this time signature. What we have here is 4 quarters. 4 beats counting quarter notes. If you say it as a fraction, 4 quarters, you will know what you're counting, 4 quarter notes. The equivalent of 4 quarter notes, if you don't strike each one though, is the whole note. This whole note gets all 4 beats in one bar. So you're counting to 4, but you only hit the note once. The whole bar is the whole note for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we divide the whole note in half, we get half notes. They get half a bar apiece, 2 beats each. You don't want to generally count 1, 2, 1, 2. You want to keep the whole bar going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The note that gets half a bar is the half note, getting 2 beats. We divided the whole by half. If we divide a half by half, we get quarter notes. Instead of 2 notes in a bar, we get 4 notes in a bar. 1 on every beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 notes per bar, they get a quarter of it each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your body is designed to sense this, but counting helps you to ingrain it. What you will find that you actually recognize when 4 beats have gone by without counting them, and you'll hear 4 bars of 4 beats going by and 8 bars. But we get there by being counters in the first place. You can play by feel, but there are going to be times when deciphering a rhythm will require counting, or actually performing that rhythm, especially in space where you'll need to count. We had the whole note for a whole bar, 4 beats, half note for a half bar, 2 beats, divided it in half to quarter notes, 1 beat each. We divide that in half and we get the flagged note. We went from just a circle that was empty to an empty circle with a stem, to a colored in circle with a stem, to a colored in circle with a stem and a flag. That's an individual 8th note. They would take 8 of them to fill a bar, so they're 8th notes. They get half that beat each. There's 4 beats and 8 notes, so they only get half a beat each. If they're sharing the space of a quarter, so this is the number 1, and this is the upbeat, this is the and, then their flags touch and form a beam. The 8th note then is getting an 1/8 of the bar, it's getting half a beat. If we're counting quarters on our down strums, 1, 2, 3, 4, guitarists will usually catch the 8th by coming up. We're bringing our hand up anyway, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Your counting can be individualistic. You can count only when you need to. You can count with syllables that help you, but usually you want to keep it steady. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're doing the 8s, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm going to put up an image of a Hal Leonard page that introduces 8th notes to you. You want to have your own Hal Leonard book, of course, and read through that page and work on it yourself. So here are some of the note values we're working on. What I would do with this is fill a page with rhythms. One line should be quite repetitive. I've made every bar here different, but you would like to repeat a whole line of 8th notes. a whole line of quarters and halves mixed, a whole line of quarters and eighths mixed. When you practice those, it's just like I've talked about with reading your notes or reading words. You'll get to the point where you know what this sounds like when you see it. At the point where you've counted through it enough, you won't actually be counting this anymore. You'll just know this is ta, 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 ta. Ta, ta, ta. I'm not actually counting those any longer, but I don't have to because I have worked on the counting for long enough. So I'm going to practice through this once. You can play this, you can isolate these bars and practice them, but here's a one time through this entire thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. I stayed on an easy chord for me, so I didn't have to think about what my left hand was doing or think about the music. You notice I tried it sometimes to remember to indicate with my pick the beat, even when I'm not playing it. So that whole note at the beginning, you may not count it out with your hand, but you just might. 1, 2, 3, 4, half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you may just have a little bounce, but that timing does stay in your body. And then you can play on the downs or the ups and miss anything you want to in order to create the rhythm you're playing. Next, we're going to move on in Hal Leonard to Snake Charmer, which utilizes eighth notes. I'm way ahead of the game in the book for introducing those, but you're well able to do that right now because of the way we've been playing so far. So I'll see you then. Thanks again.